Hello everyone, today I'm going to do a quick video that will focus on the lower suspension arm. Now, this lower suspension arm is the team associated lower suspension arm. Now, there's other versions of suspension arms such as, Zeon, Kyosho, other manufacturers that use this style, where it bolts into the lower bulkhead here. Now, one thing that I didn't know about is that even though that the lower arm is secured by these two screws in the lower bulkhead, it doesn't mean that those screws are securing that lower arm at a precise height, both left and right. Now, if you torque too hard on one bolt or the other bolt, sometimes the actual arm will be can position itself upwards, or it can position itself downwards. So you have to be aware of this, especially if you're just ripping your hair out trying to figure out why the ride height is completely different from the one side to the other side. Say that you've done everything, like you've balanced the chassis, you made sure that everything was tweak free in the upper arm, caster block, lower bulkheads, your springs are equal, there's no friction whatsoever, everything's operating smoothly, but there's just one thing that's missing. You check your tires, and your tires are perfect, everything's perfect, but still there's one thing that's eluding you, and the one thing that it might be when it comes to the ride height being different from one side to the other is that the screws that are bolting this arm here could be tweaking the arm up or down depending on how the situation is going. Say, for example, you have this side here, it's at 3.2 millimeters, and then this side here it's 3.4. You've checked everything, you made sure everything's perfect, but you still have that 0.2 millimeter of a ride height difference. Yes, it's a small difference, but it makes little imperfections can be noticeable on the track, especially with the 112 scale. So you want to make sure you've eliminated everything. So that being said, I gave my car to the Team Bomber owner, and he looked over everything, and he checked everything, and he made sure everything was perfect. And what he told me at the track, which completely opened up my eyes to what could be causing problems with the front ride height, left and right, was the lower suspension arms that might have been tweaked. And what he did, and it was quite simple, he just, with the wheels on, I'm just showing you the lower arm positions there. With the wheels on, what he did is he measured the ride height as so. And he determined, okay, well, if this arm here is 3.2 millimeters, which is what I need, and this side here is 3.4 millimeters, I'm just going to check with the wheels on, and I'm just going to loosen the screws here and here. So I'm going to relax the arm, take the stresses out of the arm. And then what he did is he took a ride height gauge and he would set it at 3.4 millimeters. And what he would do is he would just simply push down on that, giving it pressure, and he would, it's a little tricky, push down on the ride height gauge with the wheels on, obviously. And then what he would do is he would loosen the screws, and then he push down, then he would tighten again, and then tighten it all the way down, nice and snug. And then he would check to see whether or not there was in fact a tweak in the arm. Now, in my situation, it was this side here that was tweaked. So the arm was cocked down a little bit. And so he corrected that very simply by just using this ride height gauge here and just putting his fingers there, pushing down with the screws loosened, and then he tightened them back up again, nice and snug, and the arm was set at the same height as the other arm here. Now, it could be the opposite, where this side needs to be adjusted as well. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself. But I hope this makes sense. I hope it works out for you, and if you have any questions, please leave a message. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. All right, bye-bye.